Okay. Good evening. Tonight, we're going to have the public hearing on the 3 trees in the town's right of way against Mill Pond Park. It's only for the first 3 trees. There's 2 trees in the park, and those trees will be addressed at a different public hearing. I'm going to read into the minutes a quick paragraph from Chris Savidio, our town engineer. I request approval to remove the 3 white pines that are within the town's right of way at the north end of Mill Pond Park. This request is to facilitate the town's Garfield Street and Community Connectivity Grant projects that are planned to run concurrently starting in early August. A part of this project requires an ADA accessible route from the revised crosswalk from the end of Mazzicoli Way and Town Hall to the park. To achieve the acquired grade of the new walk that will connect the crosswalk to the existing walk in the park, the route crosses the root zones of these trees. This area has substantial town infrastructure within its root zone, specifically water service to the park, water service to the Board of Ed bus garage facility, underground power to the park, underground communication and data to the park, and overhead electric to the park. As you are aware, these are mature trees with a height of approximately 50 feet and a root zone of about 20 feet for each tree. This height to root relationship is of concern as these trees are susceptible to toppling during heavy storms. This would likely damage one or more of all these utilities. When the walks are constructed, these trees will suffer further from the construction activities. As I stated at the town council last Tuesday, June 10th, I propose to replace these trees with several dogwoods and magnolias or similar flowering trees that do not grow more than about 20 feet in height and would enhance the north side of the park. We will be very careful to avoid these utilities when we plant the new trees so that we don't have any future utility conflicts. Sincerely, Chris. We're going to allow everybody to come up and talk about the trees. This is not a question and answer period. So we'll gather all of the information and I will make a decision, and that'll be put out within 3 days. So anyone who wants to come up, you're welcome to come up, state your name. We have a sign-up sheet. There's also a copy of this letter if you want to take one for yourselves. Thank you.
Could you just introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Tom Lapierre, the town tree warden.
I'm Clay Pedigo, Supervisor of Parks and Grounds, representing Parks and Recreation.
I know you said this isn't Q&A, but you started out by saying this only pertains to the 3 trees closest to the road, I'm assuming. That is what you're talking about?
Yep, those.
And this does not mean that the 2 other trees are off the table. That's just being tabled, right?
We can only handle the way the posting went, the way the meeting went out was to discuss the 3 trees. There has to be a decision at the Parks Board meeting because of the charter. And we will address that at a different meeting so that we stay in line. That is not tonight. It will be a different hearing.
To clarify, those other 2 trees are in the park.
Yes, gotcha.
Do we have to come up here? Can we speak from our seats, or is it easier?
Come to the microphone if you would, please. Yes, please.
I'm Kristen Harpy, 36 Baldwin Court, Newington. So basically, I'm the one who started the petition, and the reason we started it is the drive behind our cause was just fueled by our need to save seemingly healthy trees and wildlife, just the way that the park has saved so many of its residents mentally and emotionally, providing daily refuge and relief in nature. And I can especially relate to this just in my daily walks. So I want to thank and I appreciate everyone that supports this cause and that signed the petition or came out here tonight. We're not affiliated with any political group. I'm not one way or another with the construction. We simply saw the sign on the tree and it said to contact the tree warden with any questions. And to us, it looked like completely healthy trees. So we, we're ignorant to this stuff. So that's the only reason behind the petition. It grew into something else at this point, but we just wanted an answer. And from what you read, we got our answer. We just didn't have that. We saw the sign and figured we wanted to preserve the integrity of the park because it means so much to us. And we didn't know if there was like a way around it, like with the root system, if there's any other way to like say, they look like healthy trees. You know what I mean? So we were just concerned. But that's it. So thank you and thank everybody that backed us. And we have, if we can give you, if you don't mind me handing this to you guys, we have, as of this morning, was 329 people that signed the petition. And it also, it brings us awareness that certain things that happen, we just, as a community, don't know about. So we'd like to be more informed, like if on the tree signs next time or whatever, if it comes up, there could be like a link to click on, so then it could avoid all this type of stuff. If there's like reasoning behind it, so it's not just like, we look at it and like, we got nervous or panicked about it, you know what I mean? So thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Edward Martian. I reside at 891 Willard Avenue, Newington. I currently hold, since 1989, a combination Connecticut State Arborist license and a custom grounds license. I'm also a member of the Connecticut Tree Protection Association. I have inspected the 5 eastern white pine trees on the north side of Garfield Street, opposite the municipal building. The purpose of this inspection was to assess the condition of the trees to determine the impact of installation of a public sidewalk under these trees. My findings are as follows. The health and vigor of these trees can be described as fair. There is a noticeable amount of deadwood and evidence of significant storm damage. Several crowns have developed multiple stems, likely due to previous crown damage. Construction impact. The excavation necessary for the installation of the concrete public walkway through the root zone of these trees will have a very negative effect on both the health, structure, and integrity of these trees. White pine trees have a high fibrous root system with a deep center taproot. Excavation compromises the tree's ability to uptake and translocate nutrients and diminishes its anchorage in the soil structure. That will also make more susceptible to uproot and storm damage. I also was unaware until now that there's infrastructure to those trees, which can get severely damaged and be very expensive to repair if these trees get damaged in a storm. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom, one thing we failed to mention was the 4-minute time limit.
It
Hasn't been an issue.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm Tracy Lawler, and I live at 37 Sunset Road, Newington. And I'd like to respectfully request that the town take all feasible steps to preserve the mature pine trees lining Garfield Road in the park during the upcoming water pipe replacement project. These trees are healthy, well-established, and provide the only substantial shade in the area, offering a critical environment, health, and community benefits. Their value far exceeds aesthetics. And as you mentioned, by planting small trees, dogwoods and so forth, that will certainly not provide the shade that we have with these trees. And any trees are going to take 20 to 40 years to provide any shade. So their value exceeds their aesthetics. They reduce surface temperatures in summer and improve comfort for the park users. And also, we walk a lot, and in the park, there is not much shade. So those trees are very valuable. They reduce surface temperatures in summer and improve comfort for park users. They contribute to stormwater regulations, carbon capture, and air quality. Their removal would mean a loss of public benefits that cannot be replaced for decades. So we believe preservation is possible with thoughtful engineering, such as route-sensitive construction techniques or rerouting. We are eager to work with the Department of Public Works and project engineers to explore alternatives that protect both infrastructure and natural assets. So thank you for considering a preservation-first approach that reflects the town's commitment to sustainability and community well-being.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room?
Anyone further?
Dana Havens, 113 Stoddard Avenue. I understand that you can't answer me, but I do have a question. I'm just wondering if you're gonna remove the trees, are you not gonna remove the stumps, and are we gonna run into trouble with those underground lines and piping when the stumps are removed? Or are you just gonna grind them down? Because, you know, if you remove the stumps, it's gonna be like they're uprooted anyways, and so the danger you say there is will still be there. Thank you.
Oh, let me sign in so I don't forget. My name is Kenneth Sando. I'm a newcomer to Newington, about 8 months here. Our home address, 42 Wells Drive, we're right across Cedar. One of the reasons that we chose Newington as a community to live after much searching and trying to get through the market, such as it is last year, is it's a well-managed town that seems to care about both its natural beauty as well as commercial. Where we were before, any excuse would do to take out trees, rezone a lot, take everything out, sometimes replant, sometimes not, just created a lot of blight. Mature trees, as another attendee here, they take 30, 40, 50, 60 years to grow. They take 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes to take out. So these white pines are, I've been around trees all my life. They're all 5 of them in surprisingly good condition. We've got a big beech on one side of our yard, a big oak on the other. They're in good shape too, but these trees would rival them. And the shade, the natural benefits that they offer, the beauty year round, being a conifer. I would ask that the route for this pathway be reconsidered. We've inspected the area. We know that the roots are surface level. But, these trees have seen some things. They've seen some storms. They've seen Isaias and the nor'easters and, the hurricanes and so forth. And they're in remarkably good shape despite all that. Trees make a both physical and mental health benefit to a community as well as property value benefit. The property values in neighborhoods that have established trees are higher. Parks that have established trees draw more public than parks that are, barren. So this park is a great resource to the town. It's one of our favorite parts of the town that we found so far. So I would ask that you reconsider the pathway that would require. I know about the utility easement and all that. We've been through that where we were before. There's a balancing act to this. I get it, but there's an inspirational quality to trees for all of us, particularly when times are tough. and we're all trying to find, hope. So there are people that don't look like tree huggers, such as me, who we go out and look at a tree and we think, yeah, we can make it through whatever. So they've got resilience, they've got strength, and they've got beauty that I think can and do inspire us all. So thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
I have a comment. So I'm gonna jump in here. I'm his wife. My name is Lisa Sando, 42 Wells Drive. Again, I know we're not talking about the other two trees, but if someone said we were taking these three and leaving the other two, I think, which are actually larger, this might be an easier thing to swallow, at least for me. But I mean, taking them all out, there'll be more flooding. Trees provide just so many functions, not just shade and beauty, but I mean, we've, as Russ said, where we lived before, when you take trees out, water pools, it just causes all kinds of problems. So I hope that, if, God forbid, you take these three and then you take the other two as well, I mean, you're asking for not just ugliness that isn't necessary, but you're asking for other problems as well. You don't have a lot of established trees in that park. We walk there all the time. We live within walking distance. And it just would be sad to take the few you have. So that's it. Thank you.
I think a lot of it for people too is just the fact that it's like a heartbreak. You see these like huge, massive things that have been around for close to 100 years, and it's just heartbreaking to just see. I mean, I'm not much of an activist other than today, like in my life, and the park just means so much to me and my friends, like for mental health and emotional benefits. And so it's kind of heartbreaking to just see something taken down that's been alive longer than any of us. It's sad.
And I've seen people.
Would you like to come forward?
Okay, sorry. I can't hear out of this ear, so pardon me if I.
Could state your name and your address, please.
Oh, sure. Wait, Dina Stavola. I live on Superior Avenue, Newington, obviously.
Thank you.
All I just wanted to say was, thank you so much for taking care of the park, because it is a sanctuary for not only people mentally, physically, but also for, as you guys all know, obviously, animals and anything that's living, breathing in there. And I think that seeing those trees, it symbolizes something that's bigger than all of us. So, and it is good to have conversations to understand. We don't want to come in here and tell anyone how to do their job. I certainly don't even, couldn't even imagine what it takes to upkeep it. But it is nice to understand, like kind of how it works and why, and if there was ever a way to maybe come to some kind of resolution that wouldn't mean it. But I know that you guys, like with the engineer earlier, that you read when you read his statement, probably has tried to do that. But at least hearing and understanding, so maybe in the future, if there are other trees, and there's a way maybe like to think about it and say, well, wait a minute, maybe we could work around it, just because we do know it just showing how much it means to people. And also I'm a big raccoon person, so I probably shouldn't say that, but I just don't want the raccoons to have nowhere to live either, because they do really live in those trees. So if you do plant other trees, could you make sure that they're like ones that raccoons can live in? Because that is important. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the
Anyone
room?
further?
See, we have one person online here. Let's see if I can.
Just wanted to get the record.
Okay. 1 second, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Richie from Connecticut, go ahead.
Yep, Richard Leverrier, 3 Winterberry Court. I want to say that this situation in the park does remind me quite a bit about the parking lot the replacement parking lot that happened at John Patterson Elementary about 2 or 3 years ago. And at that time, there was, a particularly healthy large tree on the edge of the parking lot. And there was a group of second graders that got really upset that the tree was going to get cut down because they like to go out there and, do reading, whatever. And at that time, the facilities committee ended up getting their engineer or whoever to do a proposal as to what they could do to keep this particular tree. And anyway, I guess I'm asking if there's a way that you could give a secondary proposal. If it costs more, hey, present it as an option. And then if it costs too much, hey, then you got to do what you got to do. But if we could get a secondary proposal together that wouldn't have to cut down healthy trees that clearly, based on tonight's attendance, mean so much to the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? I'm just wondering why now it's down to 3 trees instead of 5. Can you answer that?
The other 2 are another meeting.
Okay.
All of the trees will be addressed in a similar fashion,
Okay.
but we could only address these first 3 trees tonight.
Hello, Clay, how you been?
Hi, Joe.
Long time no see.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Warden, how are you? Joe Harpy, 36 Baldwin Court. I'm gonna keep my remarks short. I know you're all dedicated to the parks and all the stuff that you touch in your profession, consistent with Parks and Rec, and that your superintendent is on the same page in terms of trying to make these parks as attractive and as usable by the public. But I think in this instant, what threw people off is, and you put the honest answer on the removal, construction. The tree wasn't dying, there weren't all these other ancillaries issues, you straightforward. And when the public looked at it and said, construction, what kind of construction? Because they weren't aware of the continuity grants or other issues that were gonna come in to redo Garfield and a whole other project. So when that was mentioned, that raised a lot of concern with people. And that's why I would agree with the sentiment about whatever you decide to do, that now and in the future, that communication base be broadened. It's not a criticism, it's just a suggestion, because I think that would be very helpful. You should know, and maybe you do know, that there are a lot of people that go there from outside of Newington as well. They bring their kids to the playground, they feel safe. They have a long pathway, as you know. They can run, they can jog, they can take a stroll, with the exception of the electric bikes, which have come on the scene there. The kids much younger than 16. And that in itself, I'm losing the topic of subject, but I want you to be aware of that. I've seen that more of that of myself, and it puts the people at risk because they come right up behind them. So I don't know if there's a way that you can, I've seen the signs, no bikes, but nobody pays attention to it. And I don't know what the level of enforcement would be. And hopefully these young people will grow up to respect other people's rights and the trees that are around. But I anticipate that in 824, you may be included in that review, the entire project. And I'm on TPZ, I'm a commissioner, so I have to be careful that I don't look like I'm favoring one end or the other, but I do favor this. When over 300 people sign a petition, whether they're all here tonight or not, then I think that begs the question, you know, maybe we should rethink this and be more in line with what the public wants than what the state of Connecticut wants to see on a construction project. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, we don't know. Come on up.
I just wanted to say one really quick thing, just on what he just said. Because in the park with the those electronic bikes, I know this isn't, but this'll, believe me, this'll lead to it eventually. They whip around really quickly. I mean, they're gonna kill someone or themselves, but doesn't that also hurt the grass? Because this, I mean, it's like they're going so fast all over the grass with these electric bikes. I mean, that's a motor.
Brand new trees that you guys planted too.
Yeah,
The
like
mulch. People are backing
insane.
Out of the way, people are jumping off the trail.
It's really, it looks like they're gonna disrupt that. So, I know that kind of leads to this in a weird way. So, but, yeah, just wanted to say that it's also a blight in the park, seeing that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any further public comment?
I don't see anyone else online either.
With no further comment, we'll close this public hearing on the 3 trees. And I will render a decision and make sure it's notified in 3 days.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For having us.
Thank you.